Good evening, Bellingham, 7 o'clock, Board of Selectmen meeting, and as a customary, if you can join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Before we started, actually, it's just to be compliant with the open meeting laws. I'm gonna mention that Mr. Martinez is gonna be joining us via Zoom this evening. And when it comes to taking a vote for each item on our agenda, and we're gonna be doing roll call votes. And make sure everyone recognize that. And thank you very much. Mr. Martinez, you all set? Can you hear us?
All set. I'm all set. Thank you very much.
Oh, absolutely. 7 o'clock, we're gonna start with the Board of Registrars interview. Sarah Brown. How are you? How you doing tonight?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
And thanks for stepping up and greatly appreciate it. And why don't you tell us about yourself, and then it's why you're interested in the position, and then the floor is yours.
Okay, so about myself, I've lived in Bellingham for 19 years. I've always lived in the Central Mass area. I grew up in Westboro, where my father grew up. And then I raised my children in Blackstone, lived there for 22-ish years. And then, or maybe a little bit less, because I lived in Milford for a little while. And then I moved here in 2006. And I am currently married. My husband is an electrical engineer, and we are raising our granddaughter. She's 15 years old, freshman at the high school. She was on the cheer team this past year. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I value democracy. And I want to make sure that the rules that the democracy has voted for are followed, and that that we are maintaining the right standards and following through on everything that we should be following through on. And that at this particular point in time, I think it's really important to make sure that all of those standards are followed. So that's the real reason. I also volunteer at the food pantry. And then I teach a class at the senior center, an iPhone technology class as well. I used to do Girl Scouts, but my granddaughter aged out of that, so we're not doing that anymore. So.
I appreciate it for your time. I don't have any question, I think it is whatever I need, everything is in front of me. Any other board members have any questions?
No questions.
So Monday, Mr. Sebastian?
No. Perfect.
Mr. Martin, Mr. Martinez?
No, I'm good. Thank you. Just want to say thank you for stepping up and volunteering your time.
You're welcome. I did forget to mention, I worked for Stop and Shop for 41 years. I retired from them in 2001. Because my mother is elderly and needed more help, and we have my granddaughter. So I left that company. I worked 19 years in the stores and 22 years in corporate.
Wow,
So
a long haul with Stop and Shop.
it is, they were pretty good to me. So,
That's good.
yeah,
That's fantastic.
yep.
Mr. Martinez, do you have any questions?
I have no questions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you
You're
very much
welcome.
for your time. If I recall, I think we have an incumbent.
Yeah, we do have an incumbent, yeah.
So what we're gonna do is, Mrs. Brown, we usually take your vote on the next meeting.
Yeah,
And then
and I'll be in touch with you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank
very
you.
much for your
Thank
time.
you. Should I vacate? Is that, you don't need
If
me
you-
anymore?
if you'd like.
I mean, we don't need,
Yeah.
you don't have to stay if you don't want.
Okay,
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
next item on our agenda, it's gonna be public hearing notice in according accordance with Bellingham Code of Bylaws, the Bellingham Select Board will hold a public hearing on Monday, April 7th, 2025, 7 p.m. in Municipal Center, Arcan Room 10, Mechanic Street, on the application of Banga for common victular license at 250 Hartford Avenue. Oh, how are you? How you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Please. And the owner, Babu Koganti,
Bob is on the way.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You can-
pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the place, and it's, what are you thinking to do over there?
It's Indian restaurant. We already have one in Boston.
Mhm.
So it's near State Street.
Mhm.
So replicating the same thing in Bellingham too. It's a full-fledged Indian restaurant.
Yep.
And we are trying to operate as the same model, currently existing model.
Mhm.
So yeah.
This is where,
Yeah, it used to be there.
It's
Yeah.
Mo's, right? It's the
Yes,
old
Southwest Malls, yes,
Mhm.
yes,
That's what
next
I
to the
thought.
market basket.
I don't have any question at the moment, Mrs. Altamonte.
No, okay.
Mr. Sebastian?
I don't, he's
Yeah.
cleaned it off.
Mr. Martinez, do you have any questions?
No, no, looking forward to it. Thank you.
Just maybe what his hours,
I was gonna expect.
Yeah.
his hours.
I was gonna ask, yeah,
I was gonna ask you. Mr. Hennessy?
what are your potential hours of
Yeah, that's-
operation gonna be?
So we're planning to open until late midnight, maybe 12, 1 a.m. if it permits.
Okay,
Because we know there is a population there who want to have the midnight food.
right,
Yeah, because there's McDonald's right across it.
yes.
So that's why we want to open until midnight, 1 o'clock.
Are you gonna like open around 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or?
Morning, we're planning to open at 10 o'clock.
Okay,
At 10 o'clock, the staff will come, they'll do the preparations.
Mhm.
But to serving, we start at 11 o'clock to the public and we want to open until 11 to 1 o'clock midnight.
okay.
Yep.
What is your time frame for opening the restaurant itself?
So everything is almost ready,
Okay.
ready in the sense the design, everything is ready. Once we get approval, we can start and we're planning to open in like 6, 8 weeks.
Mr. Sebastian?
I just got a little, I'm a little confused there. So you're going to open at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. for the staff,
For the staff.
not for the.
When are
public.
you going to officially open the restaurant during the day?
11 o'clock,
11 o'clock in the morning
in the morning, yes.
to 1 o'clock at night?
1 o'clock in the night,
Okay.
yep.
Just because I'm gonna say to you, you might want to leave that 10 o'clock hour.
Uh-huh.
Because once you put it on your license,
Uh-huh.
it's there.
Okay,
So if you would wanted to change it, you would then have to come back.
yes, okay.
So my suggestion is leave it 10
Okay.
a.m. to 1 a.m.
Oh.
And then that, if you want to close early, you can. If you want to open late, you can, but it's there.
It's it, okay.
Okay.
But for the public to eat the food, it's only 11 o'clock.
No, that's.
Yeah, that's fine,
That's fine.
but it's just for your license per
Okay.
se.
Okay.
So you don't have to change it. next time.
I will suggest actually, to take to Mr. Sebastian's advice, and then when you file the paperwork,
Mhm.
and then just add it as a 10 o'clock,
Okay.
and then in case if you need to do some adjustments, that will give you a little flexibility down the road.
Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
you explain what fast casual Indian food is?
So the proper Indian food is where we order the food, servers will bring the food towards the table, right?
Mm.
So we have two things here, where similar to like Chipotle,
Okay,
where you have a station there, there is some food which is already ready. We can pick up the food or we can order the food, sit at the restaurant, which is made right there. So
Okay.
2 ways, yeah.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And, anybody else any questions? No?
We've been in touch with Dylan, right, the Board of
Yes,
Health.
yes,
Okay.
Do we need to make a vote?
Motion to
And so we
close.
need to see if anyone wants to speak on the public hearing.
Anybody would like to speak? Or anybody have any questions? No? So
All
I'll
right,
make,
close the public hearing.
Yep. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second,
We got first, we got second. We're gonna do a roll call, and then we'll start with Mr. Martinez. Obviously, he is via Zoom. Mr. Martinez?
Aye,
yes.
Ms. Altamonte?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy? Me?
Yeah.
Mr. Jane, yes?
Aye.
Mr. Rashid, yes.
All right, so The public hearing is closed. Now we need a motion for
Mr.
that.
Chair, I make a motion to approve the common vic license for 250 Hartford Ave for Banga.
Second,
We got first, we got second. We'll do the same thing. We'll start with Mr. Martinez. Mr. Martinez?
Don, aye.
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 We got 5-0.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, good
That-
luck.
that's a lot.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, second item on our agenda. Another public hearing, Amy Bartoloni, interim town clerk, will discuss local election requirements pursuant to chapter 92 of the Acts of 2022 Voters Act. And whether the town will vote to opt out of certain non-mandatory features such as voting by mail and in-person early voting for annual municipal elections. Amy, how you doing?
I'm way over prepared because last year we had a much bigger crowd. There was a little bit of a typo in the ones in your notes. So I just gave you some information on last year's election and the cost of early voting. I broke down how people voted, whether it was in person and mail. So I'll only take up a few minutes of your time.
Thank you very much. Vote is yours.
Okay. So, according to the Votes Act, vote by mail is required for all elections, including local elections. We've had this discussion before, like you were saying, it was a much bigger crowd last year, but we had a lot more elections last year. So vote by mail is required in all elections unless the select board votes at a public hearing to opt out with a public roll call vote 45 days before the election, and we are at 57 days before the election, not that anyone's counting. So we are within the parameters there. I provided you in this packet, which, you know, I know it's more information than you probably needed, but I thought it's something that is interesting to know as somebody that likes statistics. The historical data and the cost for early voting for election. And like I said, last year was much different than this year. And with the caveat that there was, I would look at this one, there was a little bit of a typo in the ones that I provided Hillary earlier regarding our population. So both for your general knowledge and you have an idea how the cost breakdown works for early voting. You know, I inputted a lot of numbers in this. And also with the codicil that the state does reimburse some costs for early voting. I filled out their survey. I haven't found out how much they are going to reimburse yet. And I haven't heard anything going forward for this year. So I am not saying to discount it. I'm saying maybe not to count on it being reimbursed all the way. So I also provided an estimate of early voting costs, both in person and by mail, which I will go over with you in a second. That is based on the last, I also gave you the numbers for the last 5 years of local elections. So I opted to use the highest number that we've had for local elections, which is about 2,200. So I based my cost on that for mail-in votes. Again, obviously this year isn't last year. The Secretary of State's office sent out those postcards last year, and it was a lot. So I think we all can just thank our stars that this year is not last year for a lot of reasons. So we only hopefully have this election this year, and we don't have the postcards that went out. So as of right now, I have 4 vote by mail applications because they are available on the portal and they are available on our website to fill out. So I have 3 that have been filled out and 1 that has come through the portal. And if you do vote to go forward with mail-in ballots, there's no requirement to send an application out. That will just come to us either through the portal or through a written application. As an aside, we do still have a number of permanent absentee voters, less than 100. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, and we will still accept absentee applications. The difference is the vote by mail application doesn't have any qualifications for sending out a vote by mail ballot. Absentee voters, you are supposed to not be able to get to the polls that day by disability or being out of town. You sign that you can't get to the polls. And either way, those absentee ballots will go up. And as an aside, which probably has nothing to do with the local election, but I think maybe as a board, you know, would be interested to know this. We also have our UOCAVA votes and our accessible vote by mail. So the UOCAVA votes are votes that are overseas, and the accessible vote by mail are voters that have disabilities that make it difficult to fill out a paper vote. So that is an online voting system now. So we did it last year. I don't remember if we did it previous to this, but it is a rigmarole. And that is a technical term. It is a rigmarole to figure out. It's set up by the Secretary of State's office and we implement it. So there is an option to do that. We had less than 50, in 2024 in the presidential election. I can't say how many, exactly they were, but, you know, for your information, you should be aware that that exists. I don't think we'll have any for the local election. We generally don't, but if we do, we are prepared to go forward with it. You do have to set up the portal and, keep up with it, and there's, a lot of double checking and upkeep, but it's fine. So lastly, I just want to circle around because if you get to that last page, you will see the cost for in-person voting, and it's costly, for a local election. I base those numbers on what we did for early in-person voting for the last elections. However, early in-person voting, which is the votes that we had the week before the election here in the municipal center, the hours that we had, it requires a lot of, my poll workers, it requires a lot of setup. It is not required by the Votes Act unless you vote to opt in. And it also needs to be recommended by at least 50% of the registrars, and it's not supported by the registrars at this time, based on the cost. But I have broken down the cost of what I anticipate the vote by mail ballots would be and what I anticipate the in-person voting would be on the spreadsheet. So I think that is all the information that I have to give to you. And it's your vote, it's your decision, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Dennis, what we, just to remind everybody, what we usually do on the local elections.
The last couple of times we have opted not to do mail-in vote, just to have the election on election day and handle it in that manner, since the turnout, you know, is typically a lighter turnout, but that's what the board's done in the past.
Okay. I don't have any question at the moment, but I'll go around and then Mrs. Altamonte, do you have any questions on this matter?
Humor me. hold on a
Uh-oh.
second. No. Absentee voting still takes place.
Correct.
This is just in this room a week before. Or no, whatever it is,
Or the
2 weeks,
Or the
right,
The early in-person voting is the one that's in this
Yeah.
room,
or the mail-in,
or the vote by mail.
but the absentee voting. still
Absentee voting
exists.
ballots will be
Okay.
correct.
Thank you, I just
And
want to,
so we have a number of them that are permanent absentee voters, so they get an application at the beginning of every year. So they, if they send it back, it's a yearly application. If they send it back, they will get a ballot, and also people can apply for them at any time.
thank you, I just appreciate that.
I'm just gonna, Ms. Sotomayor.
Okay, and so I think going to the early in voting, doing it house for local is silly,
It's costly.
absolutely silly. We never did it, and I don't think we should. However, I'm going to tell you right now, last year when my board turned down the mail-in voting, I went around to all my friends in the town clerk's office in other towns. And they're all doing it. And they have a lot bigger local elections than we do. We do not get a big local election. I don't think the cost is something we should worry about versus making it easy for the residents who really want to mail in their ballots, who don't want to have to walk to the gym and go to the high school. And I firmly believe we should be doing that for them. And a lot of people were very angry last year because our board decided, and it wasn't me, I was the only one who voted for it, and I'm gonna vote for it again, because I don't think it's that big a deal. It's not. You're doing absentees anyways. And the only way you have to do to cover yourself is you put it on the website. If you would like an in-person ballot to vote, send us a request. That's all. And if they don't send it, well, then they're not gonna get it, but that's how you should deal with it. I mean, we always deal, when I was there, that's how we dealt with things, you know? You want a ballot, then you send us a request, because we're not gonna just send them out.
The difficulty last year, though, was people got the postcards, so we would have.
Well, yeah, we did have the postcards from
Sending
Gallup.
4,000 out to the people that said.
I mean, the in-house voting should only be for state and federal. That's all it should ever be. It's a huge, major project, and we all know that. But I think that the ballots, the voting by mail is something that people have requested. The law was passed, and I really feel it's in poor taste of Galvin to then all of a sudden say, well, you know, you can opt out of it if you want. Well, what's the point of passing the law if you're gonna tell you now, okay, we're gonna pass a law, but oh, guess what? You don't have to do it. That's not fair to the people who passed that law and wanna do it and wanna have their ballots mailed to them. And I don't want to hear, oh, it's going to skew the vote. It's not going to skew the vote. People are going to go and vote, but they should be able to mail it in. I feel very strongly about this.
Anything else?
Mhm.
Mr. Martinez, do you have any questions? You want to add anything on this topic?
No, I think I'm good. I echo what Ann said. So last year, I did hear from a large number of folks that they wish they had mail-in voting. So if they request a mail-in ballot, we should make it available to them.
Mr. Hennessy?
I'm gonna stick with the same opinion that I had last year, which was, we vote on election day.
Okay, I don't have any question at the moment.
We have a
The gentleman up there.
Oh, yeah, it's, I'm sorry.
Hi.
Mr. Roy, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was gonna ask the next question. I said, anybody have a question, of the public?
I just wanted to make sure. I just got a couple questions because you've mentioned almost three different ways, the portal to get a mail in, write a letter, or the postcard. If Bellingham were to do mail-in voting this year, how would the town go about doing it? Would it be just the portal, or is
So-
it gonna be postcards and then?
The
That's what
postcards
I'd
came
love
out
to
from
see
the
what
state
it was.
last year, and it was because it was a major state election year, so we're
Right.
not required to send anything out. What, like Ann said, we would put an application on our website that people could print out, so they could print it out and bring it to me, they could print it out and put it in the mail, or, the state does operate the portal, so I can go online and see who has, signed up for a vote through the portal, so who has
Okay.
signed up for a ballot through the portal, so it will either be, on the website or wherever they get a paper application, or through the Secretary of State's website.
Okay, so it's
No
different.
postcards this year.
Postcard, well, I mean, I know the state sent them out
Yeah,
last year on
yeah.
their dime.
And I believe
But
that
there's
they are
nothing in
planning
the
to do.
law that states that we have to
No,
send out. It
No.
it would be
Not for the-
portal only.
No,
I mean, to be honest.
and when it's
If-
state and federal, the state is gonna do it anyways.
Right, so I
So
mean, in
we
that
don't- we
regard,
don't
if
do
it's
that.
not,
But if we decided to do it, we
what's the
should
cost of?
put it on the
utilizing
website.
The portal then?
That's all. You're not gonna
What's
get.
our, what is the additional, well, you said there's some cost to.
yeah, I'd be happy to
Do
give
it.
you one of these. It rounded to mostly postage for 2,000 ballots. So.
Mailing them out.
Yeah, 2000,
If they
If they
request,
request them.
if
yeah.
they
So I
request it,
have-
so.
I called it just in case everyone asked for one.
Okay. I mean, $2,000 seems a little, I don't think,
It's a
That's-
dollar,
that's-
it's a dollar to send them out, they're heavy.
is it a dollar?
Yeah.
Okay, so you 2,000. That's a great deal of the voting population.
Yeah, it sure is.
So, I mean, I also agree with Mike, it's voting day you go, but also I do understand people's lives have been turned upside down and work hours.
But they can always request an absentee ballot.
And that's always there.
It's always, they can always, I used it when I went to boot camp.
But are you supposed to be out of town,
Correct.
not just
Correct.
work hours, and town elections?
Correct.
Employers do not have to allow you time to leave for a town election.
Correct.
That's part of it, so
Yeah.
that's where I get, if you're not technically out of town, you shouldn't be requesting an absentee ballot, and you're asking someone to perjure themselves. Because that's what it says, so I mean, if it's a minimal cost of $2,000, I've seen more waste of $2,000.
And I'm just saying my own,
Yeah,
it's just my personal.
I'm letting the public.
Yeah, no, it is there, it is everybody's right to express, that's why we're having a public meeting. I'm of the mindset, if you wouldn't put, take $50, put it in $50 cash, put it in an envelope and mail it to yourself. I think the ballot's the same thing, the ballot's one of the most sacred things we have in this country.
Does anybody have any other questions? What we're gonna do is we're gonna make a motion to close the public hearing, is that? I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
We got this, we got second. I'm gonna start with Mr. Martinez for the roll call.
Aye.
Ms. Altamonte?
Aye.
Aye,
I,
I will. And now, public hearing has been closed, so the next thing is gonna be basically, we're gonna be taking action on this matter.
yeah, I'll make a motion to, I'll make a motion. How about if we do it this way? This will just really speed it up. I'm going to make a motion to approve the voting by mail and not the in-person voting for our annual municipal elections.
Is that what we usually do, Dennis? I'm sorry.
Is there a second?
Is there a second to my motion?
Second,
So we got first, we got second. I'll start with Mr. Martinez,
aye.
Mr. Altomonte, I'm just waiting.
And me too. I,
Mr. Hennessy.
Aye.
So I have one question.
Yes.
Before I take my, cast my vote on this. It's, so. Is there a way, it's, if the people, they can request if they want to be, mail in?
Yes.
We don't have to send it out to everybody?
No, no, that's what Amy just said.
Oh,
She'll put
okay.
it on the website. If you want it, then fill out the form and send it to Amy.
So,
If you
It's
don't,
not a
if
blanket.
you don't do that, then you're not gonna get it. She's not required
okay,
to do that. for
no, but at
Amy.
the federal level, that would happen automatically.
Right,
so my question is, if the people, they don't request, they're
then
not
they go
gonna
to
get
the
it.
school and vote.
Okay, so basically, we looked at it, I'm just talking about the numbers wise, and then, we talked about it might be $2,318, but if the only 10 people, they ask for
And then
it,
it would only
give you
be,
only $10, am I right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay,
Mhm.
Here we'll have a different discussion because the postcards will come out,
Okay.
it will be a
Yeah,
different.
every state and federal year, every fourth, second
Okay.
year.
that's something it is, I'll be comfortable with, and I'll go with I on that one.
And I want, and I approve, and I agree with your insight, I
Yeah.
agree with your position.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I also agree that,
it's, again, like I just said, this one is my own personal belief.
and I,
Yeah,
I totally respect that.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see our numbers for the polls go up.
right.
I hate that we're such a big town and a long town,
Yeah,
and yet you see these numbers come in, 700, 1,200, and yet. Will this make a difference? I've always wanted to see those voting numbers increase. I'm hoping that this does that.
There was
and
not for the state election.
And that's all, that's the only reason what's really propelling me to say aye. Because I know that's a cost, I know it's extra work, I know, I get that. I also think coming to the high school and voting, there's something to be valued about that too. You're seeing people, people you don't see every year, and it's, seeing them in person helps. And saying that, I just want to see those numbers go up. I really think we deserve that.
but I wanna highlight the one thing, the what we just did, so the people, they have to go online on the website, and they have to
Or come in.
request it.
Or come in.
Or come in, or if you
And-
don't,
right.
so you're not gonna, don't expect you're gonna receive.
Maybe we should put something out on social media
I'll talk to Karen.
about that, just.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
That it's, yes, exactly. I mean,
Can they
it's
do
not
it through the
something that
portal
she
for
should
the
have to do.
local?
Yeah,
Can
they
they
can
do-
do it through the portal also.
They can.
I'll put something together.
Okay, so they can do it through the portal too.
Okay. So this is all set, am I right?
Maybe have Josie put something up on the sign out in front of the senior center.
The seniors are the ones who.
Thank you.
Thank
The older
you.
people who are gonna use it.
Thanks, Amy.
Perfect,
All
thanks,
right,
Amy.
thank you, Amy.
The next one is gonna be on our agenda. There is a bid award for the sports field complex. This is actually sports field accessibility improvement contract. And, Jesse's gonna cover that?
He's on, yep.
Oh, Jesse, how you doing? Sorry.
Thanks,
I didn't have a pair of glasses, I think, so when I'm just, I just one back there, I'm missing right in front of me. How you doing?
great. Thanks for having me tonight.
Oh, pleasure to have you. Go ahead, my friend.
All right, so up here we have a bid award recommendation for sports field accessibility improvements. This is going to be a 10-foot wide path, approximately 2,400 feet in length, providing ADA accessibility around the upper fields off Blackstone Street. This will be a stabilized stone aggregate, similar to what you see on the SNET Trail. It includes excavation, filling, grading, signage, loaming and seeding, and a small quantity of hot mix asphalt to provide ADA accessibility. The project must be completed before August 1st of this year. And with that, we have the bid award for recommendation for Ramco Survey State Company out of West Bridgewater, Mass.
So moved.
Anybody would like to read the motion?
Yeah, and do you want to take that or do you?
I just said so moved.
Sure, so moved, so-
Jesse said it twice.
Oh, Jesse-
I just said so moved.
Okay.
I'll
We've
second,
already read it
I'll second it.
twice.
Sorry, my apologies. So we got first, we got second. I'll start with Mr. Martinez. Obviously, he's via Zoom. Mr. Martinez,
Aye.
Ms. Altomonte? Mr. Hennessy? Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Sebastian? Aye, Savage. Okay, I believe next one is for you too. Am I right, Jesse?
Yes, that's correct.
Traffic Advisory Committee request pedestrian crossing sign at 345 Hartford Ave.
Gonna make me happy, Jess.
Yes, absolutely. So
There you
this
go, my friend.
is an item
Why don't you cover that?
This is an item we've had on the agenda for a little bit now. We ended up actually finding the correct location recently, and to our surprise, this location was actually missing signage that gives motorists the idea that there is a crosswalk in the area. We're looking to simply add signage designating that there is a crosswalk just prior to the entryway to the Stallbrook School, and the select board authorization to move forward with this work is what we're looking for tonight.
Mr. Chair, I move the board approve the request to add crosswalk warning devices at the existing crosswalk at 345 Hartford Ave, as recommended by Bellingham Traffic Advisory Committee.
Second, and I just want to make mention, so
Absolutely.
Jesse, I have been working with Jesse on this for what, a year now, Jess? Today I
Honestly,
was sitting there and this is what happened. So you're sitting there and I did not even realize that that crosswalk was in the middle of the road where the driveway was. I always thought it was up there, and then there's one further back. So I called Jesse, I'm like, hey, look I'm watching this man and this little girl go across from that school. They're gonna be dead. And then there's a lady on the other side of Maple who could not get across Maple Street because there's no crosswalk really signal there.
Mhm.
And they come from Hartford and they turn, so nobody stops. So the other thing I'm gonna ask that we do is get the really bright yellow paint out to make sure those crosswalks are highlighted, because that's a big deal too, Jess. And the same with the one for Maple Street going, from coming down from Dunkin' Donuts and trying to cross there.
yes.
They can't get across because you got cars going this way down one, and then you got them coming this way to go down Maple Street. So when you're up there working, but I appreciate this because this is, the parents in Pilgrim Village are gonna be so happy, I can't even tell you, that they can walk the kids to school safely. Thank you.
Thank you.
We got the first, we got second. I'm gonna start with Mr. Martinez again. Mr. Martinez? I think he said aye.
Yeah, you're muted.
I did. I'm sorry. I thought I was on mute. Aye.
Ms. Altomonte?
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. I believe the next one is that for you too, Jesse?
Yes,
Or
I can just
that's
start
for
on
Dennis.
it. Jesse's here to speak to any questions, but it's a DPW memorandum of understanding.
Yep.
It's similar to the other agreements that we've entered into with police, fire, and professional administrators, 3% each year. Lots of language changes that are beneficial to, really clarify some things and make the department work better. So we had a very good conversation with the representatives for the DPW rank and file. I think everybody's on the same page and it's a very positive atmosphere down there. Jesse, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I echo what Dennis said. It was a very collaborative. We've really seen a large improvement. We've got some good language changes here. It was well received on both sides, so we're very excited to move forward.
Do you have any questions on this topic?
no.
No, I don't have any, I read it. It's
So
it's
you
good.
make a motion to accept the,
I'll make a motion to accept the agreement between the town of Bellingham and the AF of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Local 747, Department of Public Works.
I second.
we got first, we got second. I'll start with Mr. Martinez again. Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. Altomonte?
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
Hennessy? Myself, aye.
Aye.
Mr. Sebastian? Ayes have it. Do we need to sign this?
Yeah.
Okay. And while we sign in that, monthly abatement request was February.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to accept the DPW monthly abatement request for the month of February as presented.
Second.
We got first, we got second. Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Ms. Altomonte?
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy?
Aye.
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 5-0, ayes have it. Thank you.
Jesse, is there anything to add for the 140 Rentham Road?
So this request, they did move on this, shortly after the high bill was noticed. We did receive the receipts as necessary. We are making a recommendation to abate in the full amount requested. This one is pretty straightforward.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve the abatement request for 140 Rentham Road as presented by the DPW.
We got first, we got second, Mr. Martinez,
Aye.
Dr. Monte,
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy. Aye,
I,
perfect, ayes have it. Let's sign this.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the minutes for March 1st and March 3rd as presented.
second,
We got first, we got second, Mr. Martinez,
Aye.
Ms. Altamonte,
I,
Mr. Hennessy,
Aye.
Jane.
I,
Perfect. Ayes have it.
Mr. Chair, do you mind if I take this one since I'm the one that put a hold on
Absolutely, please.
her nomination? Ms. Bush, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Ms. Bush, there is no issues that the law legal found, so I'm going to make the motion to approve you as the 5th member of the Bellingham Board of Health.
second,
We got first, we got second, Mr. Martinez,
Aye.
Ms. Altamonte,
Aye.
Mr. Hennessy,
Aye.
Jane, aye.
I,
Ayes have it. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, I appreciate that.
Really appreciate your, old business.
I just wanted to make sure everything was on the up and
I
up.
understand that
That's
totally.
all. I hope you understand. It was nothing. I just wanted to make sure. Good.
Anything other old business, Dennis? No? Anyone? Perfect. And, we'll move to the new business.
We already addressed that at the beginning.
Yes, so I mentioned that earlier, it's brought our attention, if, anybody going in us via
Yeah.
Zoom. And, they're being in compliance with the, open meeting laws. And now going forward, we're gonna be taking roll call votes. And, when the items are presented, and then when we take a vote on it. And do we need to take it, just basically we explaining that, or
Yeah,
if we need to?
no, we don't take a vote, we don't need to take a vote.
Okay, so it's just, that was the thing actually brought to our attention, and then, we did that.
we're good.
And now we are updated.
Yeah.
And that being said, I'm gonna actually, anybody else has anything on the new business? I'm sorry. Anything else?
no,
Okay. I would like to mention something regarding to the new business. I don't want to take a lot of time everyone and whoever's watching. Obviously, like Amy just mentioned that our town elections are 57 days away. And I was up for election for this year. It's probably some of you might know or not. So I had quite a bit of health issues this year. Actually, last year and then going to this year. After I had a great discussion with my family and as well as with my doctors, and I decided for me the best thing to do right now, just kind of take a little time off, and then let's see how the things are gonna work out for me. And I would like to thank everyone who worked with me on various projects, topics, anything related to it. And whoever supported me, even if you didn't support it, it's perfectly fine. That's what the democracy is, make the things works. And I appreciate it for everyone, and I'm gonna step aside and then focus on myself. Try to get healthier, and then find out, and then we'll find out, what's in the future. And I appreciate it. And thank you very much for everyone's time. And that being said,
Thanks to
Dennis?
you for all your support, especially
I
this year
appreciate it, it's
as the chairman.
I think, that we did quite a bit of work, it's, I was really excited about it, I'm really excited about it, and then I wish everyone, good luck on the elections. And, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the first item that I had, Mr. Chairman, was the town administrative search. And I know Hillary had an update that she sent out to the board with regard to all the past members of the screening committee. You would ask that we reach out. They've all indicated that they would like to continue serving. You did want to have Mr. Corey serve as well, I think at the last one, so it would be a
Yeah.
6-member committee.
And we'd have to go to 7.
Yeah, you don't have to go to 7. You can have a 6-member committee.
Yeah.
The last committee was 4 members, really, because one of the members had a relation that was very ill that she had to take care of. So I don't think there's any problems. I don't think you need to reach out and have a 7th. You can certainly function with this. It's a screening committee, so it's not a committee that's making the final determination.
That's perfect.
May I-
Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah.
Can we put it to the chairman of the committee and see what his thoughts are?
I think we should ask him.
I was actually only co-chair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kiana was actually the chair.
Do you have an issue with being, an even number?
Not really, but I don't know. And I'm gonna just say this based on how we were all selected originally. There was 14 of us that submitted resumes in, and it's nothing against Mr. Corey. Should it be opened up to anyone else? And that's all I'm asking is, because originally that's how we were selected to it.
Right.
So to just have somebody else then appointed to the board from the select board without anyone else
Well,
showing interest, I get what you're saying.
no, my only thing is the time limit.
I know this,
Yeah.
and that's honestly why I was a little taken back by Mr. Corey being nominated without any open discussion last meeting.
I mean, I
Should we take a vote on the board?
On what?
I think,
On a 6-member,
I think.
I have no problem, it's,
The board's prerogative one way or another. It's your committee, so.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that.
let me just say
Okay.
this, all right?
Yeah.
Because listen, you all were into this open, make sure it's transparent. 3 of you were big on this, remember that?
We all voted on it.
We all voted on it, but remember, it was a big deal. So that's how we did it with this committee. Now, we're gonna say, oh, nope, we're not gonna do it this time. We're gonna just appoint someone and they're not gonna have to follow the same procedures. I have a problem with it. I love Tony Corey. He's like my brother, so you know how close I am to the family. But he also knows that I'm very
This is
clear
a
on.
screening committee. This is not a decision.
I
making
understand
body.
that, but you made this screening committee go through all that.
Go through what? The application
That's
process?
the application process and coming before board, we opened it up to everybody. Now you're not gonna do that. Why? What's the difference
We still have
between
the
what you
screening
made
committee,
them do and what you?
The original group's still there.
I'm just saying it, I just feel it doesn't look good for us. That's my only opinion, and I don't,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just cut you. If you're gonna open it up, so we have to create a whole new screening committee, that will be a new process. I didn't wanna do that just out of respect, it's a whole screening committee, just to add another member, somebody like a respectful, like a Tony Corey. And that was my decision. And then Dennis, obviously, there's somebody I really look up to, and then he's saying it's okay, and then I'll be okay with it. And just to add in it, because if we, and as I said, out of respect to the work they done, and I didn't want to start the whole process, if you're gonna do it, so we scrap it's basically the whole screening committee and then start all fresh then, and then open up to the whole public. So just.
that's not what I'm saying to you. Listening to me, I didn't say that. I said you should.
May I just add something,
Wait,
Mr.
one
Chair?
person and not let other people have the opportunity to be on the committee too.
May I just add something, Mr. Chair?
Absolutely, Mr. Martinez.
Listen, again, this has no disrespect to Tony, and I mentioned this the last time. Because I think he's a wonderful man, and I've had a very good relationship with him. I just found it odd that out of the clear blue sky, and really that's how it felt, that you nominated him to be on the committee, and I wasn't sure what the motive was behind it, because we had all said several times how pleased we were with the 5-member screening committee. So I didn't understand, and I wasn't going to cause any issue when it was raised, because out of respect for Tony. But the more I thought about it, I just didn't understand where it came from and why you did it, why we had to add another body to the screening committee when everyone on the committee publicly said how pleased they were with the committee of 5. So why add a 6th? And I've had people question me. I've had people ask me, not a lot, but enough to say, Don, why did that happen that way? I said, well, I don't know. I didn't make the nomination. I still don't understand why, Mr. Chair, and it's no disrespect to you, why you did it. And it's not about the process as much as if we are all satisfied with the 5, why did you add or make a recommendation to add a 6th? It came out of nowhere. And I'm not going to go down the path of lack of transparency and all that. I mean, I think that's a vital, it's a fair point that Ann raised. It really is that, but I just, again, I don't see why, if the 5 did a great job, why we had to add a 6th person. That's all. That's my question to the chair.
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked me that question, actually, and it's, so when I was saying that, obviously, when we tried the first time around, and I believe in it's, I personally, and I think we learned quite a bit of a deal from the whole process. And then the second time around, I think we learned a little bit more. I'm not looking at it as a failure. I'm learning as a, it's kind of a little learning curve. And I think just the check all the boxes and then just added a little bit more knowledge into the mix. And with the new company we hire, and I think it's we have a right way to the right path, the succession and for Dennis. And that was my whole purpose of it. And the reason why, and I thought about Mr. Corey because Mr. Corey, with his experiences over the years, obviously, he dealt with really highly classified, it's hirings and then certain topics. And as well as, to being a successful businessman, it's obviously he did a lot of things around town. He's very invested in this town, and I thought he will be a great addition and to the group. And that was my whole purpose. And I'll just say that, I'll leave it with that, and I think Mr. Hennessy would like to ask a question.
I think, I mean, my understanding of the process is, we have the company and it's gonna be a hybrid. They're gonna work with the screening committee.
Yeah, the company's gonna do the whole thing.
Right, the company's gonna do the whole thing, and then the screening committee's gonna sit down with them, and they're gonna screen.
Mhm.
And, I mean, I have no issues, Mr. Corey is very well respected in town, I have no issues with the current existing members, my only concern is, God forbid, I wanna get this done. Dennis wants to retire. If we go to a tie, not saying it's gonna happen, but if it does happen, it's gonna be a night.
A tie for what, bringing members to be discussed at the board?
Yeah,
But they're a screening committee, if they brought 6, they bring 6.
right, but
Does it have to be?
I just think that I don't want it to be torn. Let's
Put the first 5 best candidates out.
right. No, but my thing is it needs to be an odd number. It can't be, I don't think it can be an even.
Dennis said it doesn't have to be, and then he's been around longer than
Yeah,
everybody else.
I don't think we
technically, it doesn't have to be, but it's up to the board,
Yeah.
ultimately. the
Well, we
board
did
makes
it for a
that
reason the
determination.
first time.
Yeah, I don't want any kinks. I want to be 100% transparent. Everybody has said that. I think,
I have no problem with 6 members.
Yeah.
I think it's just a screening committee at this point.
okay,
If they were voting, I would think that's a different
yeah,
perspective.
Are we talking about the hypotheticals?
Okay.
But I think-
All right, I'm very comfortable with, I hear the both sides of it.
Listen, I love Tony Corey. I think he's wonderful and he's done so much in town and I think the world of him. That's not my point. My point isn't Tony. I love Tony. He could come on and it's fine. My point is, we had a procedure in place.
Hmm.
And I don't like to all of a sudden, now we're gonna break with what we started doing, break with what we've done. And in the general public, I'm gonna tell you right now, it looks sticky.
But we got
because
Tony to
people-
this.
The optics don't look good. Honestly, I'll
There's
just,
nobody else, that you're saying, okay,
I'm
he's
saying,
a good person, we like him, and we're gonna just put him on,
No, but
but he doesn't have to follow any, what
we sat
everybody
here
else.
and put him in this position. We all put him in that position.
Well, you all put him in that position, I didn't even know he was gonna be announced, I had no idea any of this was going on until the last meeting, when I heard it, I had no clue.
yeah, I
We're
just,
doing this.
Discussion.
So nobody knew anything, nobody knew anything about it.
That was announced here and we
Just
decided.
I announced today, there was no discussion prior to it. and then make sure the
Mr.
public
Chairman?
knows about it.
It's just, I just want to add, I know it's tough on Zoom. I- here's what, going back a few years, everyone, transparency, the optics don't look good, and it's not about Tony. It's
It
the
has nothing to
optics,
do with
it's the
Tony.
optics, Mr. Chair, of you nominating somebody and going against the process that was established by the board. The board established the process, okay? You went against the process and you nominated, whether it's Tony or XYZ, it doesn't matter. The optics don't look good for what you did. And I'm just giving you some advice out there. And I know you just announced you're not coming back, and I'm sorry, and I always ask about your health, and I hope that you recover very fast and you come back again in the future. But I'm just saying the optics don't look good to the general public out there, that all of a sudden 14 people put their names in, 14 people went through a, public interview process. We had scoring live, and then out of nowhere, for no reason other than respect for Tony. Well, we all respect Tony. That's not it. But you just made a decision on your own to make the nomination. You caught us off guard. And I said that night that, if we're going to do 6, we're going to do 7, right? And because I didn't want to make a big deal, because it was Tony, who I have so much respect for. But the more I thought about it, it's like the optics just aren't right. They're not right. And they're not fair. The board doesn't look good. We have enough trouble now that we failed at hiring 2 town administrators twice in a row. Now you do this.
We didn't
And
really
it's
fail.
not
Actually. It
about
was
learning
really
and getting
for-
better.
Just
We
we-
went
we-
backwards.
we-
We went backwards.
The first time around, it's whatever happened, it happened. Obviously, just we're dealing with that. And the second time around, and there was only one finalist, and then I don't want to get into the details. Obviously, just past is past. We move on from it, and it just it's.
Let's just move forward.
So what would be the option? What would you prefer to do at
I
this
was gonna
point?
actually ask the
Yeah.
same question. You know,
I understand you don't want to do this. What would you?
No, I mean, I think we should do this. But I think we really need a 7th person.
I do too.
I think we should put it out there. I mean, I hate to say it, maybe a week,
Can we talk to the person who's on
Oh.
the committee?
I'm sorry, I didn't even know you had your hand up.
Oh, I know, based on what you just said, I raised my hand, so you missed it. Based on what you just said, my only thing would be, I know you guys have your scoring system from the last go round. And whoever was number 6,
But I think
As-
with too much time has passed, or,
well, do you reach out to them real quick, make a phone call, Dennis/Hillary, and say, would you be interested? At this point in time, and and I hate to do this, I'm gonna throw it back kind of in your faces of when you said, can't you give us 1 or 2 more candidates?
yeah, no, I got you.
But and you asked us to do this, who was the next in line? And I'm kind of putting it back in the same retrospect.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to do it.
I mean,
Right, I know,
think-
unfortunately, because
I
we would
think-
have, had it been a qualified candidate.
I think time is of the essence.
That's why I was moving in that direction of, do you
I mean,
reach
to
out
be
to
honest with
the
you,
number
just,
6 person?
it's, Mr. Roche, and it's, just as I said, out of respect to you, what you guys have done. And I didn't wanna basically wasn't even thinking, so start a whole new, screening
I
committee.
don't think.
Because we hire a company, start afresh, basically get the best of the both worlds. As I said, I personally, because, learn something from the first. Excuse me, I'm just talking here, there
I
is
didn't
no,
say anything.
no, but I'm just making hand gestures and stuff, I'm just talking here, I listen to you very respectfully. And, I really appreciate it. It's, I know the people that are not seen on the camera, but I mean, when you make those little gestures, I appreciate it if you don't. And, I just listen to you very respectfully, and I have a lot of respect for everyone. And, so just out of that purpose, and, I didn't even entertain the idea, just we're gonna start with the whole screening committee, because you guys did a fantastic job in a lot of ways. Just, I thought, with the hiring the company, basically can guide us through and then fill some of the spots, we didn't fill. And then now we can do that. It's, and as I said, the reason why I came up with the Mr. Corey, because I thought he can add another, perspective or view, it's, what we can accomplish. But as I said, I'm just only one person and I'm just listening to everybody else. I thought, we took a vote on it and, but I'm just, that's fine. I'm all ears.
I think Don and Ann have a very good point with it not, it is optics, it isn't transparent, that's my own I mean, that's just my thought, I mean, I have your backs on
No, that's
every
fine.
time.
Listen, it's not
I
about
just,
me.
I
it's,
just, I think,
It's,
I think I can't go against, when you got, two people that I respect, that have a lot of experience under their belt, pointing something out right to it. And there is no, I think maybe we should, vote as a board, obviously. But maybe, go back to the well with the scorecards. Hey, do you want to come out? I mean, obviously, some people are running in an election, so they can't serve on the committee. Because that was one of the big things with the committee is no attachments to the town.
Right.
So there are gonna be some people that are disqualified, so that pool did get a little bit smaller. But I think maybe if time being of the essence, that would probably be the fastest way, not scrap the entire committee, I think.
No.
no, I wasn't even thinking
Yeah,
that, just,
not
but if
that.
you're gonna do that, so I'm just,
But I
thought,
think we need to, or either, Mr. Cor, I mean, he worked for Raytheon. You can't turn your nose up at Raytheon. It's one of the biggest government contractors out there, and he did human resources
Well,
for it.
the point is this, if you're going to put him on, which is fine, I don't care, I love him, but you have to have the process right. You can't just, I was under the impression we were using our 5 committee members. That's the last time we talked about this. We said, we're gonna keep the 5. I said, they were wonderful. They did everything we needed them to do. I never knew we were gonna go to a 6
But I think.
or a
I-
7.
My,
Part of a conversation though.
yeah, but I think we need to, just because, again, if people are talking about it, I've heard about it, I'm sure everybody on this board has at least heard something about that.
Well, I had people at a fundraiser who were all ready to say, well,
so-
can we all go apply again?
I think we need the best way, and time being of the essence, is just going back to that pool with, looking into it, reaching out, or going with the 6th person on the score sheet that we have.
Mr. Chairman, do we even have to go back
Martinez?
and do this? Can we just make a motion that we just stay with the remaining 5? And, nothing against Tony, and I know we voted on it, but I'd make a motion that we just, for the screening committee, for the optics, for everything's going on out there, we just stay with the original 5 that we interviewed, that took the time to fill out an application, that did all that. It's nothing to do with Tony. It could be anybody out there if this happened to. I make a motion, we just stay with the original 5. That'll just make it a lot easier. And if time is of the essence, we can stick with the original 5 and not.
just,
and
we
not
can
have
add
Tony.
one more person, Mrs. Odebashi, just mentioned that.
He put a motion out there.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna second Don's motion.
So the motion is to stay with the original 5 search committee members.
Yes, that's my motion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so motion is out there, so we got first, we got second, Mr. Martinez? Mr.
Aye.
Martinez,
I,
Ms. Altomonte,
No.
Mr. Hennessy? I say no,
Aye.
so,
Motion passed.
okay, so 3-2, okay?
All right, so the only other update on the,
Don was trying to,
What?
looked like Don was trying to say something.
No, Mr. Martinez, are you trying to say something?
I just didn't hear it. I'm sorry, it got soft. So did the motion pass or not pass?
No, it's,
It
we
passed.
just
It
took the,
passed,
we just
Don.
took the vote and then
Okay,
motion
that's,
passed.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine, it's perfectly fine.
so I did speak, the contract has been approved, as I mentioned in my notes to the board. KP Law made their edits, all their requested changes were adopted. I signed it on behalf of the board based on the vote that you took, so we've got that moving forward. They will be reaching out to each of you as they had said they would be doing, so they'll be reaching out to you for your comments on the profile and just asking you general questions. They'll do it. They'll get your cell and your email address, so they'll try to get a hold of you, Mary, or Michael Hale is the other gentleman that'll be working with Mary. So that process is underway. Silver Lake, you may have noticed we're advertising for lifeguards. We put it on our site. Hopefully we picked up. I know Hillary, you put that out, with the library Facebook page and a few other sites, but we'd like to get it out there. Anybody can become a lifeguard. I didn't know how easy it is as long as you go through the certification class and you can swim, and all the guidelines are there. If you click on the link, age 16 to 60, the gentleman's actually managing the program for us. Formerly, or does currently work for the YMCA, and he does the training at the Y. The Y charges $400 for the certification, but they're going to waive the fee for a Silver Lake lifeguard. So once we determine a reasonable number, we'll get these individuals assigned to a class, and we'll get that process going. So
Was there is the Y still holding the camp at Silver Lake?
the Y is having a camp, and they're going to pay us monetarily, which will fund the bulk of the lifeguards. Their insurance didn't, it used to work the other way around. They would fund the lifeguards in exchange for the camp, but they had an issue with their insurance, not just here, but they can't guard private lakefronts. They can only guard lakefronts for their campers. So they'll still be able to provide guard service where their little section is for their campers, but that's it. But we came up with a solution that works great, that monetarily doesn't impact us.
The town insurance is not gonna be.
Yeah, yes, our town insurance is fine, doesn't have an impact on our insurance. We're covered there. This will be added to it, and it's no added cost. So
Okay,
as long as
that's
they're
good.
certified
And then,
through a certified training program,
That's really.
which they will.
are you
So
getting candidates?
we had a couple right out of the gate.
Oh,
So
good.
hopefully, and they're contacting the gentleman that's going to be supervising the lake for us. So we'll have a lifeguard supervisor. And I met him last year when I was down there. A wonderful gentleman, and lives in Bellingham, and just loves being in the lakefront, Silver Lake. So it works out great. And it also works for the Y and does their training for them. So it's a wonderful situation, a nice resolution, and the Y worked closely with us to come up with a solution to it. So it worked out well. Finance and Capital Improvements Committee, they met tonight. They're moving through the warrants. There's only a couple more things that they have to go over, so it's going extremely well with them. New England Country Club, the Adult Active Overlay District, a lot of questions on it. Rob and really, we have a group that meets regularly, at least once a month, with all the various department heads reviewing all applications that come before the town and go before the planning board. We're working actively on this one. There are a lot of shortcomings with the project, and we're aware of it. I know it's getting a lot of play. Sorry, I got my late night voice coming on. But we have a lot of attention on it, a lot of issues. And we're not oblivious to what's going on. Rob's doing a great job coordinating that. So the project that's there is a long way from what was proposed 8 years ago and passed by town meeting.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, so we don't have to enumerate all the things that
Oh, my God.
are issues with it, but we are actively engaged with them and making them realize that this project doesn't represent what we approved with that overlay district. That's all that I have, Mr. Chairman.
That's perfect. Then, it looks like the units, that will fill our agenda of the evening.
Mr. Chairman, I can motion to adjourn.
Second.
We got first, we got second, Mr. Martinez.
Aye.
He said
Aye, aye.
Aye. Nancy? Myself,
Aye.
aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you for everyone's time. Have a great day.
If I
Have a
talk-
good night. Thank you.